Welcome back to the Social Seller Podcast with Conor Paulsen, where we interview the world's highest quality communicators, professionals, business owners, creatives, and everything in between. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you're a high quality communicator, there's a good chance you're living a lot happier life, but you're also bringing those opportunities into your life almost like a magnet. My guarantee is that on this show, we only interview people that I, one, look up to, and two, that I know are going to continue to kill the game for years to come, and I want to make sure they're on your radar. But what I've learned is by asking the best questions, we get the best responses, and that's what the highest quality communicators, our social sellers, are all about. Let's hop inside to the Social Seller Podcast for you, 20 years from now. So 45 years old. What are you known for? Because I'm excited. We haven't caught up like this. We were all going to chat last night, and we were like, nope, we got to save it for the interview.
I know.
Bring me up to speed.
I don't think I'll be in San Diego either. I like it for now, but this is not me. And I know that's surprising to people. I get messages all the time like, you're living your best life, but it's just not. I'm a New York girl. I'm a Chicago girl. I'm a big city, like, artsy. I'm really drawn to, like, intellect and just, like, I don't know. It's just not me. And, I mean, not that San Diego doesn't have intellectual people. That's not what I'm saying. It's more of, like, out here, everything is very aesthetic and looks-based. And I'm more just, like, what's in here, what's up here. And that's what draws me to New York. It's, like, very based on merit and just academia. And I don't know. That's just always who I've been. So I don't think I'll be here. But I will probably be... I don't know. I like Florida too. I'm like looking for whatever has better taxes than California, to be honest.
Amen, yeah.
Like, I'm like so sick of taxes here, and I've lived here for 7 months. But yeah, I mean, I definitely hope I will be with someone that makes me just better every day, someone that I can look up to as a role model, and then they look up to me equally as a role model. And hopefully by then I will have written at least one book. I'm kind of in the process of writing one now. And I also, when you said you swam upstream your whole life, that has been my struggle, like, with my own mind. And I used to struggle with insomnia. I mean, I still kind of do. I struggled with anxiety my whole life, trying to use past tense because I'm trying to, like, rewire how I think about myself. Yep. But I don't want to look at my mind anymore as this enemy and as something that I have to fight constantly. And I want to just pretend it's a gift, even if sometimes it gets really hard having such an active brain. And, like, it's so nice talking to you guys, because you guys understand this to another level. Like, we are just overthinkers, we're analytical, and we're so wired all the time. So I'm trying to use my brain for good and not evil. And not sabotage. So I will hope to be kind of a scientist. I have some theories I'm working through. I'm trying to quantify with formulas and math, and there's some things that I'm really excited about that I don't want to speak on yet, but I am hoping that I can help people on a huge scale if I can just use my brain for the good and not the anxiety, the insomnia, and the things that I've always struggled with. So I know that's really vague, but
that's exciting.
Yeah,
you have things going.
Yeah.
Well, we spoke, I mean, just a couple months ago about it. Like, you didn't have this kind of context, and you also have been doing inward work. Like,
yeah,
just how you're aware of your self-talk, right?
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. You're attracting these things, right? When we become the authentic self, like, we don't have to fight for opportunities anymore. They start to come, right? And I have read about this for like the last 7 or 8 years. I've been really obsessed with self-development. It's just started compounding like in the last 6 months. It's wild. It is wild. You read about it all the time, but when you actually start feeling it and you aren't chasing anything, not chasing women, not chasing getting into certain circles. Yeah. Right? And that's something that, Anna, thank you. I mean, both of you guys, it's so funny how we all met, right?
I know.
In the context.
Connor, thank you.
No, thank you. He introduced us.
And then we became like BFFs.
No, I know. We live in the same building. What are the odds?
That's amazing. What got us together.
No,
when
I
moved, Connor was like, do you know Stephanie? And I was like, no, I just moved. And he's like, oh, I'm going to create a group chat. You guys are going to be best friends. The message is like the sweetest thing. He's like, you guys are the most quality people in San Diego. And you need to be friends. And I was like, okay. And then we I don't know, did we go work together for the first time?
No, we went to a Taco Tuesday. And
my God.
we went to this Taco Tuesday, but we were both so equally uncomfortable there, and we just felt a little out of our element, and we bonded over it.
Yeah.
We're like, wait, we're the same person.
I was like, hey. Like, okay, can we do the pinata and then go home?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, let's do it. And then we did the
Take
pinata
bubble gum and then
we
leave.
went home.
Yeah, no, seriously. It was great.
I love pinatas. I love fun.
Me too. And food.
Yeah.
Food, fun.
Food and fun.
People.
All the
Boys
Fs.
are not in that conversation.
No,
they're
boys are not
friends.
there.
I mean, they're one of the F's.
Yeah.
Fun, food, friends.
Yeah, they are. That's all right. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. And it makes it easy when you know the authentic, like I know the authentic, like both of you. That is something that I realized is it's more common than where I was raised. Like you can meet someone, and if someone's been doing some inward work, and sometimes you don't even need to, right? Like I met a guy volunteering on 2 Mondays ago, and I can't even pronounce his name, but he's like one of the highest quality people, and I think he does inward work now. But he grew up in an environment where it was like just total beach boy. Like it was surfing all the time, eating fruit for breakfast every day, and he's been doing that like 8 years. When you meet him, you don't even have to talk to him. And it's much like all of us, it's like this, you're just happy. Like it's an energy thing, and you're like being pulled towards it. And the second, like individuals like the smile, you're just like, it's different. There's something in their eyes, there's conviction.
It's attractive.
Right?
Not in like an aesthetic way, but in a like spiritual and energetic way.
Right?
Yeah.
I think in a way I can compare it to like, I would say love. Like you see it in someone's eyes when they're talking to you, that they're just like present and they care. And it's like, hi, like how are you doing today? And then you just see the person's just like, it's genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not forced, and it's very different from a lot of people, which is weird, but not everyone's just like genuinely happy. And when you're a happy human being and you're like projecting that onto someone else, people like latch onto that and they love it.
Yeah, they gravitate toward it. And the people that don't, I used to try to make everyone like me, and whenever people would, stop following me or do something, I would just be like, well, what am I doing wrong? And I'd always internalize it, and instead it's like, let those people leave. Like, if you are being your genuine self and people are walking out, that's okay.
Imagine how much it sucks to be them.
No, I know. You're missing out, okay?
Imagine not following you.
Okay, no, seriously, that's not it.
It's never your loss. So.
No, it isn't. But it's like, I don't know, you can't make everyone happy. You can't. People are going to hate you for their own reasons, but like, if you're being your genuine self, you have nothing to regret.
Amen.
Let them walk.
Let them walk. And it's a challenge. Early on in college, my block list on my phone and then on Insta started to grow fast.
Uh-huh.
And it's probably a lot longer than most people's. I'm sure you guys
Oh,
I have
yeah.
a good feeling.
Oh,
that was the
you know how
first
many
filter.
weird-
I'm like, I can just get rid of your negativity.
Yeah,
you
same.
don't exist in my mind.
Oh, I love that.
It's almost, I don't know if I'd say a crutch, but there's times in the back of my mind I'm like, Connor, are you really in tune with your emotions? Because sometimes I can cut people out of my life, and it's like, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
That was the first stage for me. Like, I had to do something physical where I wasn't going to see content or something. If anyone had any degree of hate, nowadays, you just go your own direction.
You let them
and
go.
You hope, like, the difference is, I think, the person that might be standing in a little bit more love, loving themselves, loving the world, loving anyone around them, now it's like having that appreciation, like, oh, it's just not the right time. I wish you the best. Not blocking and just going, I'm cutting you out, but I genuinely wish you the best, and obviously this isn't the right time, but hey, who knows? Down the road, 10 years from now, we could run into each other at the airport, and it's like,
there's no animosity.
Our paths could cross again, right? And it's nothing to like put down someone that might not be as happy or see the world.
Yep.
We're all in different stages of these paths, but if you want to be happy and you want to give love, then magically you start meeting other people that have and want to live that same lifestyle. Yeah.
Can I ask you guys something? Growing up, I coined this term just from my own experiences, but I have struggled with success guilt. And we are all very, very similar personality-wise. We're all very hardworking, don't want to settle for less. We want to be the best of the best. Growing up, friends, people very close to me, family, I would struggle with jealousy. Like, people would get jealous of certain achievements. Like, if I would make honor roll, whatever. Okay, I'm just giving examples. So, like, academically, I succeeded. I would get hate for that. I started growing this like fear of success and guilt around it because of the comments that would be made to me, because of the friends that would leave my life when something good would happen to me. Has that happened for you guys? Have you ever struggled with that? Like almost like guilt or fear of doing your best because you know that there's going to be some negative consequences that come with it.
Yeah, in the term that I've always read about like this, it's imposter syndrome, right? It's like this fear of me getting to this position. And most of the time, so it's actually very common with high achieving individuals, right? Just having the mindset of like, I do want to be the best. I want to change the world. 7 billion people, like we're going to positively influence the world, right? And doing it at that scale. Now, do we know how yet? No, but we're working towards that. That's the filter. I grew up with a lot of confidence. And for me, I don't know if it was necessarily that as much as I had to find like that balance beam of confidence, and on the other end of the balance beam is ego, and making sure that I just had to be more authentic, and I definitely had an ego, and I still do, right? And I catch it in different ways. I catch it in a response that I say when I rewatch an interview. I'm like, oh, I should have been using like more collective language, right? I said I or me, and it's never about me or I, right?
Yeah.
It's about we and us and our. So I in regards to that, I see it happen frequently, and I have friends that will mention it. One thing that has come to mind is now that the business is really growing, we've never grown this fast in a 6-month period, and it's just exciting to see where. How I'm explaining a lot of these things, like you become the authentic you and you start attracting these things. It also starts to happen when you have a team of others that are doing it too, and the business starts to reflect the work you've been doing personally and all the work everyone else on the team has done. Part of it, in my mind, is like I didn't take the corporate route. I went to business school, right? But because of that, I have a fascination for corporations. You can be this organization and still move and grow. But I've always been like the rebellious. We're gonna start our own shit and we're gonna kill it. Now knowing that in the next year, we're going to be signing a hell of a lot more publicly traded companies. And now we're getting opportunities where we're going into meetings with decision makers that are, I don't want to say intimidating, it's exciting, right? Because I think a part of it is getting mixed up with what our emotions are. Usually anxiety, like getting ready for an interview or recording content, it's actually mixed excitement, and I just remind myself that.
Right. You can find a positive. Yeah.
So in that regards, it does come up, and I've thought about it like twice in the last month. For me, it's just having that awareness and kind of deciding how am I going to behave. No, I deserve to be there.
I know.
I've worked so hard. You've wanted this, Connor. Right? So that's my context. I'm curious, Anna, for you.
So I am so fortunate of where I grew up. Florida is a great place to grow up. Once you become like a little older, it does get repetitive with the lifestyle. But my high school, you were bullied. Well, not bullied. Nobody was. I never experienced bullying in high school. It's just like so nice, and you were frowned upon if you weren't getting good grades. Like we'd have like boat days where we'd get everyone together and just go like study on a boat. Like everyone wanted scholarships. Everyone wanted to get into a good school, and the cool kids were all working their butt offs to have a better future. So that way, like we were all just like hyping each other up, and everyone was really excited about each other's future and stuff. And I never got to experience someone like tearing me down because of something good I did.
Yeah.
And then I changed my life completely, and the people around me were just extremely successful human beings. Like, extremely successful human beings.
Like, what switched though? Why
I moved to California.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now everyone here
Why
is.
did you attract like this level of influence though? So you had the friends that came to your birthday at 21, surprised you, and they were involved in the LA content scene, which usually means you're killing it.
And then I met my ex, who is a nuclear engineer who started a billion-dollar tech company. And what attracts them to me, because I attract a lot of people like that, and it's because it's my energy. It's my energy, it's my personality, and people just love it, and they gravitate towards it. But the second that I stepped into that place, it's the complete opposite of you guys. It's no matter what I'm doing, it's not enough. I used to like my work schedule used to be built around making him breakfast and dinner, and I would fill my time with like different workout classes, learning, going to school, doing a full-time job, because no matter what I accomplished, from being chosen to be a Lions Club representative against people that were older than me and like doing the most, to like doing yoga school, and just every accomplishment I did, it was never enough because everyone around me is doing the craziest things.
Yeah.
So I've never had the jealousy thing. I've always just like frowned upon myself. And now I'm learning to not do that because I'm incredible. But I this is the self-talk that I've been having with myself recently. Because before it was always like, dude, like, how are you like in this circle? Everyone's like frowning upon you because you're not good enough. You're not doing enough. Like, everyone's like doing these crazy things. Like, I can't say too much. There will be a cease and desist at my door. But it's huge, like $1 billion deals, just like the craziest things, the most incredible human beings, the most intelligent and innovating human beings. So I was always trying to build myself up more and become a better person, and someone that not only I could be proud of, but the people around me could be proud of. Because instead of being frowned upon, I was trying to earn my place at the table.
I love that. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It is literally who you surround yourself with. And for some reason, growing up, and even still now I'm struggling with it, is like, I can't get to the root of it, but for some reason, I feel like I don't deserve ultimate happiness, love, and success, and I don't know why. But in high school, I think that's why I chose to surround myself with the friends that I was with, surround myself with the people like that tore me down, and instead of accepting the love that I truly do deserve, not what I thought I deserved. And I don't know the answer to that yet, but it is who you surround yourself with. And moving to California, even though I say it's not me, like, it was the best thing I could have ever done, because everyone, like you said, is so driven, hardworking, successful, and wants like to literally be the best version of themselves. And I'm just so grateful that now I don't have to feel guilty for doing what I'm doing, and instead I'm looking up to people. I'm like, no, I can be doing even more, and that's a beautiful thing. So, I mean, yeah.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
It is 100% who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Because I was around the way I felt is so unhealthy and untoxic. Today, if you guys see me on the streets, I'm so confident. I love myself. I think I'm incredible, because I am. But for almost 3 years of my life, I hated myself. And you should not be around successful people and feel less than.
Yeah.
Because today I am surrounded by the most incredible, like, people that I admire, people that I will kind of
Yeah, it's like a beautiful thing.
I'm like, why are you giving me the time of day? Like, you're awesome.
Yeah.
And they're hardworking, and they're amazing, and
Yeah.
they have these best personalities. And those people who are older than me, better than me, smarter than me, look at me and they say, I am so excited for your future.
I know. I love that.
When I tell them that I'm lost, when I ask for help, they're like, I'm not worried.
No,
You got
yes.
this.
Yeah.
And they love me, and they build me up. While I was in my other relationship, I never felt good enough because those people tore me down. They're just not good people.
No, they aren't.
So it is all about who you're surrounding yourself with, because there are two types of successful people. There are the successful people that are miserable, unhappy, and broken, and don't want to work on themselves and just keep working so that they can make more money and have more power, because they lacked the love in their life. And like, a lot of times they were bullied in high school. They didn't feel like they were anyone. So they hold that still inside of them. And now that they have money and power, they just use that to have leverage. And then there's the people who have become successful, have worked on themselves, love the world. Not only are they building themselves, but they're building the people around them, and that's who you deserve to be around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just finding that.
And I would argue the first type of successful isn't even successful. If you're not happy, then what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
It's all a waste. Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, success is happiness.
It is.
Exactly.
That's what it
All
is to
define
me.
it
That's
differently.
all it is. Yeah.
I've learned it's not chasing the money.
No.
It's not a bad thing to have.
No, it makes
number
life a
that
lot
you
easier.
want. Oh, yeah. So money definitely allows your life to be a little happier because you have more freedom. And I think
Freedom to
that's-
do the things that you
freedom
do love and
with
make
the people you love.
Yes.
Right? And
yeah.
giving them experiences that maybe they haven't yet. And that's
Yeah.
definitely a huge motivator for me.
Me too.
I am the key example of it's not better to cry in your mansion or in your Ferrari because you're still crying and you're still miserable.
Yes, yeah.
I had the perfect, like, given to me life and I was so unhappy. Today I live by my own means, doing my own thing, and I'm so happy. Like, all the trips, all the excitement, all
Because it's the people.
Yeah.
It's the people.
Like, oh, you're on an island. Oh, you're on another trip doing fancy things with your boyfriend. It's miserable. I don't
want
miss
any of that.
any of it.
Yeah.
Because today I'm so much happier with me. And it's like, people think money is everything. I'm here to tell you, it is not.
No.
Have everything handed to you in your life. Have everything easy, and you'll see how much it sucks if you're
So
like,
boring.
miserable.
Yeah.
And I want to hit on something because, first off, props. Your self-talk has picked up. I see you catching it.
I know, me
One
too.
of the
It's
words
good.
is like, in a good friend that I know watches these, Andrew Shao, and he helped me out a ton with spirituality. We're at the level in our friendship, 7 years later, we were doing this in the first year. We will stop each other in any conversation. I mean, he gives me feedback on, like, when my ego might shine just subtly. Like, most people wouldn't even notice it. And he's like, hey, bro, be careful. Minute 18:34, look at that. And then,
Oh my gosh.
minute 45. And I'll look. What I've recently experienced, and the only reason why I'm going to say anything on this is, for all of us, it's that successful person, or it's the imposter syndrome of, like, whatever form or fashion it takes, it is always rooted in, almost always, I'm going to say 98% of the time, rooted in our childhood. Now, there are ways to break free of it, right? You have to have a mindset that you're willing to go through it, right? If you've gone through a breakup and someone you really loved, you felt the other side of love. You have to fully give, but that also means you're opening up to hurt too.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Everyone deserves love. Everyone should feel it. There are things like NLP, and I subtly mention them once in a while. I know you're fascinated by it.
Yeah.
You try to introduce it to me all the time. I have to get it.
Simply put,
You're kind of
you
doing
can
it
hire
already.
a coach.
Yeah.
And I will simply say it to you because I don't think it's right for everyone. I think you have to be putting enough work into self-development yourself prior to it, because what you're going to do is there's techniques. This is really what Tony Robbins does. So 95% of who Tony Robbins is, most people don't know this, it's NLP, right? He's a legend in the neuro-linguistic programming communities, but they have to market it vastly different, right? So Tony was the reason I got into self-development like 8 or 9 years ago. Got fascinated about, like, his videos, his voice, just how he would change lives so quick. NLP allows you, with guidance, working with a coach, and I will sit down for a 2-hour session every month. And you go back into your childhood. So you come into this going, I have this, I want to fix this in my life, right? Each month you have your top priority. So for the first one, I couldn't talk about this on the previous one where we brought up NLP because it was within 5 days. There's a rule that you can't talk to anyone about what a session's like. I went into my first session in a happy place, but I knew there was another level. I had a list of 10 things that I all wanted to change, right? So more balanced in my productivity and like focus around the team, moderation around substances, completely healing and moving forward from any past relationships. And that was what I had for my first one, right? Coming in. And I was in a good place. I put the work in. After 2 hours, all of a sudden it comes to, I have this memory and it's so crystal clear. I see it right now. I'm like 2 or 3 years old in a diaper in the kitchen of our farmhouse. And I remember I was like 2 steps away from the dishwasher. I can remember exactly where the table was. And I'm 2 or 3 years old. For whatever reason, my dad was like very high intensity, like some form of anger, scolding, and I don't even think it was me, but the 2 or 3-year-old Conor associated that emotion. I attached that emotion to that. That's 2 or 3 years, right? Now, I've never had that memory. I didn't even know you could have memories prior to like before 5 years old, right? When I started in NLP work, one of the first foundational rules they'll ask, they'll go, you know, what's the youngest childhood memory you have? And they give you like 2 minutes, close your eyes. And people started talking, and like someone in the front row goes, oh, 6 years old. And then someone else goes like 4. And at this point, I'm like looking at my buddy, I'm like, there's some whack jobs in here. Like, I don't even know if I should be here, right? This is before they show you all the science and everything that backs it. What that just showed me, the earliest childhood memory for me at the time was like 9 or 10 years old. It could have been 11.
Wow.
Right? But what does that actually tell you? Our subconscious is protecting us.
Yeah.
We
Mine's
forget
like
about
3.
the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But by doing this work, all of a sudden I had it. So I go in thinking, I want to completely heal in a healthy way and continue moving forward from a past relationship. But in reality, it was this. So having a coach, not only do you go back to it, and it's challenging for a lot of people, right? Like you're dealing with emotions that are rooted in something pretty bizarre, right? But what I thought I was getting into 2 hours later was this, and then a coach helps you with the tool set, and the people we're talking about today, we're happy individuals. We are the direction of life. We have momentum. It's almost like someone's guiding us, right? Like pushing us in the direction, and people were magnets to opportunities. And you relive that, given what we know today. Okay, well, Conor, you're 2 or 3 years old. What does a 2 or 3 year old Conor care about? He's happy. He wants to love. He wants to laugh. Like he's nothing's his fault, right? And now I relive that, and then he brings you back to future pace, right? I'm not taking notes. I'm sitting there literally just answering questions, and he's reading every little body cue, things that get weird. And I won't go into some of the details, but where your eyes are moving tells people exactly if you're going into the past or if you're thinking about the future, were you actually in this state? And then you work all the way back up. And in this case, he gave me an anchor. And in NLP, an anchor is where you associate an emotion and a visual, or usually an experience, with a body part or touch. So for some of the minor ones, like when people are dealing with addictions or phobias, a lot of times you'll see people do knuckles. Like there's certain knuckles. Literally, there's addicts that have been off of cocaine for 10 years. And they have like their like ring finger knuckle if they put their finger on it. And usually it's associated with like a single finger. So it could be middle finger to this.
Weird.
Instantly.
Wow.
So for me, the second I do it, my whole back, like spine shivers. There's energy moving. And I feel it in my toes, my fingers. Like it sounds wild, right? Ask me a year ago, I wouldn't believe this shit exists. And that anchor is whenever those emotions would come up. So for the next couple of weeks, right, you can't talk about it for 5 days, because what neuroplasticity is your brain has to rewire this new emotion. But now I'm healing from that. So remember how I said when I first got into this first session, I had a list of 10 things I wanted to change in my life. A month later, I go again, and I have to create that list before I go in. What are the highest priorities? I sat there for 20, 30 minutes, and I could only come up with 3.
That's great.
I did my last session, and I could only come up with 2.
That's so
good. What I'm getting
good.
at is that when we heal these things in our past, it creates and fixes so many more problems and challenges that we have today. Right? My moderation with substances, and it's never even been that big of a problem, but that's just how disciplined I am with it, right? I know the best version of me. I'm always looking at, 10 years from now, what does that version of Conor, and I need to start acting in line with that. So I share that as something I would recommend, and I'd love to get you in contact with someone and someone here in San Diego that is a master NLP coach, and just have a single experience like that, because we all have those things rooted. And it looks different for everyone, right? We all have adversity. We've all dealt with shit, right? Some of it, it's a little bit more intense, but it doesn't matter, because the individual, we still associate those emotions, right? So you could have, God forbid, 2 parents pass away when you're 4 years old, right? Like that's nothing I can relate to, but I related different emotions and things in my upbringing that still had the same intensity for me.
Yeah,
right?
It's all relative. We all have our own levels of pain, but to us, it can feel the same intensity as someone else, even though their experience is totally different. So, yeah.
I love it. So, a couple quick ones. How have you guys learned to say no? Because out here, there's always shit going on, and there's always cool people doing cool things, hopping on big boats, doing like, let's see. How do you say no? Or when do you? Because the big definition is, let's see it.
So, if I don't want to, I will go hard for like a month straight where I'm like nonstop and I love it and I'm having so much fun. But then there will be a time or a day where I'm just like, I want to be with Anna today. And I'm just like, no, thank you. Or there's a lot of things that it's like, if it's getting repetitive, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. If I know people are going to be zombies, you will not catch me there.
Yeah.
San Diego is an amazing place, but I have never seen so much drug and alcohol consumption in my life.
Same.
And it gets to a point where a lot of places, you get there, and it's like, they're not humans.
No.
It's just everyone is like, they're continuously doing more drugs. No one's having fun. No one's having a conversation. No one's doing anything. They're just continuously drinking and doing drugs. And if I know it's going to be like that, I'm not going. If I know that I'm not going to have fun, if there's 1% chance that I am not going to enjoy it and it's not a good representation of me, it's not somewhere that I'm going to want to stay, or I say no, I find something else to do. I live in San Diego, dude. Like, there's a buffet, there's a menu of things to do.
Yeah.
Why am I going to go on a yacht party? Oh my God, it's 110 feet. Yeah, all of you guys are going to be cracked out watching the sunset. I'm good.
Yeah.
I rather stay home, or I rather go sit by the beach with like someone interesting, you know? So I do what my body and my mind wants and what's going to make me happy. Everything I do is like pretty much, if I'm going out, it's based on what's going to make me happy. It's on my happiness, and if I don't see it going and ending well, then I'm not going to do it. So and I'm not afraid of saying no to people. Like, you're going to get mad because I said I don't want to go party with you. Like, relax. So I'm not afraid of saying no. I'm very authentic to myself. So yeah, whenever I want to say no, I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
Next time though.
It's empowering. It's empowering to say no, and that's something I've worked on. Steph, how about for you?
I mean,
there's so many cool opportunities, and it feels like that could be the network that gets you
I
the
know.
next opportunity.
I struggle with that because it's always this like battle for me. I'm like, I should do this, but when I'm honest with myself, I'm tired. I'm mentally exhausted. Like, I should go so that I, continue building this relationship with these friends and doing these things. But it's like, I know at the end of the day, I'm not going to show up as my best self. What's the point of me going? If I'm tired, I'm going to be a piece of shit there. And why would you want to hang out with me then, So I just started realizing, like, if I can't be Steph and my, like, energetic, crazy, bubbly self that day, then I'm doing them and me a disservice. So I'm not even going to lie. Like, I'm still bad at it. I still sometimes do things because I feel like I should and out of obligation, but I'm getting and I'm probably losing friends because of it, because I can't be there for everyone, like I want to be, but I'm like, but what I'm realizing is like quality over quantity is so much more important to me. And like, I want to have intellectual, emotionally intelligent conversations. I don't want to be at a party, like you said, where everyone's like glazed over and zombies. Like you said, again, I have never seen so many drugs in my whole life. Like, I come from a place where there's a lot of drinking, which isn't any better. But I mean, I've been to parties here where people literally can't even speak. Like, they're just like looking at the ceiling like, oh my God, the colors. And it's like, okay, that's great.
It's
but
white.
It's like, I want to be able to talk to you. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, that's fun at parties, to like converse, meet new people, get to know them, like learn about their lives. That's more interesting to me. So it's just a preference. I'm not saying that it's wrong or right, but yeah, I think just learning what makes me happy. Like, I feel like I'm repeating everything you just said, but it's all how I feel. So
yeah, and once you say yes to those opportunities, you're like, all right, whatever, I'll go.
Yeah.
And then you get there and you're not happy.
And then you resent yourself. Yeah.
And then you're like, shit. All right,
you have to learn. Yeah, you almost have to do that.
Then you have to start getting rid of, like, in some way, I think it's formed to the ego of, like, FOMO, right? Because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
I think I've started to outgrow that fairly well. I'm confident in that one. But saying no feels empowering now, versus when I first started doing it, it was like, I'm losing out on that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and the thing, too, is, like, I always worry about losing, friends from that, and I'm going to lose some, but the people that want to continue being in my life, they will, and they'll understand that I'm just going through a season right now where I'm not going out as much, or maybe I'm trying to like figure out the lifestyle and schedule that works best for me. But the people that I love dearly and that want to continue being in my life, they will. You can't force someone to stay, and you can't force someone to go. So
if someone's going to stop being your friend because you're not going out with them and partying, they're not your friend.
No.
Friends are there to help you move. Friends are there, like, when you're sick and you need something from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Friends are there for the hard things, not just to go out with you.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Something that I've learned and has been really good to me when it comes to like FOMO, because I don't believe in FOMO within myself. I'm like, dude, the universe is so abundant. I live in California.
Yeah, seriously.
There's so many opportunities.
There's so many weekends in the world.
Yeah, like something else will come, and I'm not gonna die. If I don't go, and something else is gonna come. Just don't worry. Your DMs are gonna pop off, and like something else will come up.
Yep, guaranteed. That's the other beautiful thing of San Diego is, like, if you're a little bit spontaneous, almost always like I don't have a plan
There will
for the
always be
weekend.
something.
But
Oh,
there's
yeah.
always shit. Like,
Honestly, you're better off
this
not
Friday-
planning.
I
Like, then you get
realize
screwed
that.
over because then you're like, shit, I committed to this. But like, and I hate being that person. That's so millennial of me to say. But like, you're almost just better off going into the weekend with a fresh mind, going with how you feel. Like, am I energetic? Am I tired? And then deciding what you do.
Yeah.
Deciding what
Because
city
there's
you're gonna
so
be
many
in.
good things that are going to come.
Seriously. It
Yeah,
is.
there's
It's
so
like,
many good things.
Always going to be a handful of things. When you treat people well, people invite you to things.
Yes,
and
just be
the
a
cool
good
thing
human.
is on the outside, I know we talked about what a lot of the social events gatherings are, and I think it is vastly different than where we were raised. It's fun. It's beautiful to be around, beautiful people, not just on looks, but like the quality.
Yeah.
And then when you're around, for me, where I see it is I will really let loose when I'm around other people that I know are going to continue to kill it in life.
Me
Right?
too.
Not based on you're going to be successful, but I know we see the world the same way. Like we work out, and it's a lot more fun to party with other people that are like living that congruent life.
Yeah.
That you can have those conversations. That's when I tend to let loose a little bit more. Anna, thank you. We're all connectors, and that's one of the most valuable ways to provide value in any network, right?
Yeah.
And it's meeting people, and I think it's being authentic, seeing like, oh wait, I know someone else. Like my brain just works like when I connected with both of you individually, it was like instantly like,
Yeah.
wait, no way. And then
You're like a matchmaker.
right before sleep that night, it was like, oh wait, I think they might live in the same building too. No way.
Yeah.
I knew you guys would meet, but it
Yeah.
was a way of like, all right, well, if I can introduce, which is not common. I'm not traditionally interviewing two girls that I originally met on a dating app. Right?
Out of the bag. And here is the tea, ladies and gentlemen.
And this podcast is sponsored by Hinge. Thank you. Hinge
literally
partner.
sign me.
No, seriously, sign
Yeah.
us.
Well, isn't there a Hinge for friends? Because you were like the
Is
first
there?
female I've ever met that was like, oh my god, I've used Bumble for friends, and I met
Bumble
some of the coolest
BFF.
Bumble BFF.
What's up? I was like,
doing?
I'm not gonna move to a new city and not hang out with friends. Like, I
Yeah.
need to make friends. I have
Yeah.
no. I'm not gonna be one of those people that just hides away and gets sad about not having friends. I will find friends. So I got it because it was a pandemic. Normally, you can go out and Anyway, I don't need to defend myself. Bumble BFF
You're
for
not
the
defending
win. No, not to you guys. Like, I was doing that.
I've tried to
subconsciously.
convince other like cool girls that I'll meet and like, oh, like you're looking for girlfriends, and sometimes it'll be like, oh, they're just not out here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, they are. Like,
No, they are. There's
and
so many
I'll
people
say
that move here.
I've never had a female go like, oh, I'll do that, right? Like,
Yeah,
that
I'm
takes
crazy,
a certain
though.
breed. No,
It's called
that's
pride.
awesome.
I just don't care.
Yeah,
like, I'm like,
that's the-
there's cool people on here. I'm on here, and I know I'm not weird, so there's got to be other cool people on here.
Right?
No, I did it for a while too. I hate.
Yeah.
I hate having conversations on my phone.
No, me
Yeah,
too.
me too.
It stresses
I like
me
being
out.
in the wild. So like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be there and like talk to you. Oh my god, how's your day? Oh my god, how's your day? Oh my god, my
Yeah,
day.
it feels gross.
It's,
Yeah.
Like let's hang out. Let's
Yeah.
go do things. It's
Yeah.
gonna be incredible. Other than that, like no. But
Yeah.
I did it for a little while too.
No, especially during a pandemic. Like, it was easier for me because nothing was open, but for sure, like, there's just no excuse. Like, if you want friends, find them.
I love it.
That was
I
so
love it.
mean to me to say, but it's
No,
true.
it's not. It's
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah, tough love.
Before we talk about what the next interview context should be, given the conversation, we're all three here, which doesn't
Yes.
happen that often. We'll have a part 2 to this at
We
some
should.
point.
We need
but
to.
how can people get in contact with both of you, and what's the best place for them to find you and keep up with you? If our conversation today resonated with others, and I have a good feeling it will, because we come from authenticity and we'll talk about our vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
How can people get in contact with both of you? What's the best place?
The best place for me is probably Instagram. How millennial of me. My @ is Anna.Ka, so ANA.KAA. And yeah, like I'm always checking my DMs. I'm always checking my requests. And just like I'm very much myself on social media, and I love just like making friends and stuff. So like shoot me a DM. Let's talk. Let's hang out. Let's go live an adventure.
Let's do it, Steph.
You can find me at Steph Teagan, STEPHTEAGAN. And then I also have a podcast, the Plan D podcast, on Spotify, Apple, whatever you listen to.
And
So.
absolutely check this podcast out. So you're the vet.
I'm
asking
trying to
you
get
questions
Anna to be
before
my
someone-
co-host, but we're still in the works for that. So
Well, you have to fly her back here.
she needs to
Bring-
town. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
we're in the studio. Get here. Yeah. So would love to have that happen. It might keep a watch out for that.
Yes.
Let's run
And
a poll.
We should. Should Anna be my new co-host?
People. let us know.
People, our crackhead energy is definitely complementary of each other. Okay.
I love it. We will include all the links to the socials down below. Your podcast too. Absolutely check it out. I laugh my ass off listening to it.
Oh, God.
And you have interesting conversations. As a male that wants to show up for women in the best way possible, not only being a gentleman, but like being authentic to who that is, it gives me a really good insight into how women think and what they're viewing. And I think today, hopefully, men and women can get a little context based on what we have been through and the beauty that this adventurous life kind of provides. Now, we would greatly appreciate any comments or likes down below with what the next episode should incorporate or what today really stuck out for you. That would help us out a ton. Thanks again, ladies.
Yes.
Let's get it. This is a good one.
Threesome, let's go. Okay, just kidding. Whoa. It's not happening.